story begins in the most secure location in the Israel Museum. Here, a steel vault safeguards a fortune in rare coins from throughout the ancient world. Curator Chaim Gittler wants to show us two coins that were in circulation in Judea in 132 AD. The first displays the face of a Roman emperor. This makes sense because Judea was a province of the Roman Empire. But the second coin displays a cluster of grapes, the Jewish symbol for freedom, along with markings that are definitely not Jewish.
You can see the silhouette of the face of the Roman emperor. You see the nose, the chin, and here are part of the legend, Augustus, which is going around the edge.
This strange coin is linked to a moment when history nearly took a completely different path. The reason why is a museum secret. Our story begins at the height of Rome's power, not long after its army had destroyed the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. This disaster had so demoralized the Jews that most accepted Roman rule as inevitable. But in the Judean hills, a new freedom fighter arose. There are no statues or images of the man. Historians even disagree on his name, but most call him Bar Kokhba. He needed fighters who believed that mighty Rome could be defeated. And so he recruited believers, students from Jewish religious schools. The Romans had weapons and armor that Bar Kokhba could not match, so he gave his men something else. A lethal, ancient Hebrew fighting technique called abir.
Abir is a combination of every fighting system and category of the system used by all of our people in every generation from the beginning until now.
What?
For observant Jews, the word is everything, and this extends to abir. Every move is a letter of the Hebrew alphabet.
I'll give you a letter, for example, Aleph, Bet, Bet, Gimel, Gimel, Dol, Dol, Rosh, Shin, He, Wo, To, So. Okay, and this is the Aleph, which incorporates the entire body.
Bar Kokhba did not engage in skirmishes or terrorist attacks, but patiently built his army till it numbered in the thousands. In populated areas, Roman soldiers were always on the lookout for enemies of the empire. So Bar Kokhba ordered his men into the hills.
Okay, so we are now in the Judean foothills, which are 30 kilometers to the west from Jerusalem.
Dr. Eitan Klein is an antiquities theft inspector who often patrols this remote area.
So we are going to an ancient site called Halat Cave.
Recently, he found one of Bar Kokhba's hidden bases.
We know that it was inhabited by Jews, and we found an opening of a cave of an underground hiding complex from the Bar Kokhba period.
This is the first time these caves have been captured on film.
So this is a refuge room, part of an hiding complex during the Bar Kokhba revolt. So these are storage jars. People that were inside this cave, they were using it probably for oil or for wheat.
Historians believe it took Bar Kokhba several years to build up his forces and the underground complex. Storage rooms and cisterns were designed to provide food and water for a long stay. In case of Roman attack, the maze provides multiple avenues of escape and many ways to become completely lost. One could easily die down here, unless, like an ancient freedom fighter, you know every twist and turn. In this cavern, Klein has found something that archaeologists rarely see.
This carved stone was used as a door lock to this opening. So if an enemy is coming, the people here could lock the door and that's it.
But the caves were not simply defensive. With entrances that blend into the landscape, the caves were designed for surprise attack. When Roman brigades trudged down nearby desert roads, they were set upon by Bar Kokhba's hostile forces who appeared out of nowhere. Caught off guard, the soldiers were forced to fight hand to hand.
My ancestors realized that the Roman soldier was not a very great fighter on the individual level, that their strength was in the brigade and working as a unit. They could not use their chariots. They could not come in the brigade style because they would have to keep going around trees. That would separate them and keep them in a situation where they would have to fight us as fighters on a one-to-one level.
Bar Kokhba's forces defeated brigade after brigade, one of the rare occasions in history when the Roman army was forced to retreat. But rebellions cannot be won on the battlefield alone. And that brings us back to this. To create a viable nation, Bar Kokhba needed currency as soon as possible. To get it, he collected Roman coins and put his metalsmiths to work.
They're taking the Roman coins and they are striking the image, the Jewish image, over the Roman coins, and then you have two-folded meaning because it says we are not only free, but we're putting our freedom over your empire.
Shouldn't have done that.
And if the story ended here, Bar Kokhba's legacy and the history of the world might have been very different.
It's very true.
But Rome could not let the Jewish victory stand. The emperor assembled 60,000 soldiers for a massive surge. The Romans retook liberated towns one by one, then burnt them to the ground. Bar Kokhba was killed in a final desperate battle, as Rome unleashed collective punishment on rebellious and peaceable Jews alike.
And that's where they ended up at
Survivors
Masada.
who fled from the Holy Land blamed this disaster on Bar Kokhba.
Yep, and that's how they hid the Nag Hammadi
His name
skulls.
still evokes strong emotions.
If you want one word, I would say messianic.
No.
If you want a few words,